What's going on, people? Welcome back to a brand new video on the Josh Daily Plus channel. Today we have got Peter Bosz's PSV. Now, this tactic scored close to 4 goals a game and lifted the quadruple with PSV Eindhoven. A very, very good tactic. Now, again, if you've got any requests, you can leave a comment of the manager or also any formation, any random tactic you want to see. We will make it happen either on this channel or my main channel, Josh Daily. Please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. It helps out a new channel like absolute mad, and it shows a lot of love back. So firstly, seriously, a lot of love for people that do that. Let's go in and look at the results, and then we're going to break down 3 tactical variants. As always, we've got a mixture of variants, and as always, we are testing with PSV because it's relevant to the manager. Let's get into it. So then, let's go over and talk about this tactic, because it was a really strong performer. And we're going to get things started off in the Dutch League, where, to be honest with you, we really did show how good we were. Apart from possession, we were the top goal scorers in the league with 128 goals, which does translate to 3.8 per game that I will show you in a brief moment. Most clean sheets, 26, which is a very good amount of clean sheets. You know, there's 34 games in the season, so a really good return there. Perisic, Van Bommel, and also our goalkeeper really stood out as the top performers. Van Bommel is just as good in this year as what he was last year, in my opinion. Now, if we look at the actual league table, we don't even lose a game. We actually draw 3 games. We win 31. The draws were against AZ, Feyenoord, and FC Utrecht. Teams that I think, apart from Feyenoord, we probably should be beating. However, Feyenoord were actually down in 5th place. Ajax in 2nd place, quite a fair few points behind, so not really much of a challenge, to be honest with you. But things did get quite tasty because we did actually win the Champions League. Now, was it pretty? No. Were we good? Yes. With the attacking side, we were great. Defensively, not as good, I will be honest, but we get the job done. Now, the final wasn't that interesting. It was 2 goals and we won on penalties. This one was interesting. The semis 6-1 over Sporting. The quarters on penalties, a 10-goal blockbuster and comeback against Real Madrid. The round of 16, 6-2 over Inter Milan. And the league phase, we top and go invincible. And this is the importance of tactical variants. I'm going to explain it when I break down the tactic, but if you're not using all 3 tactical variants, you're missing out big time, because there is a lot you can achieve by doing it. And every final, every big cup game, we always tweak the tactic, and these variants make it so much easier for that to happen. Now, of course, we also do win this competition 4-1 over Go Ahead Eagles in a game which, to be honest, was just an absolute domination game. No one, they offered virtually nothing. And the Becker, we are going to win 2-0 also against Go Ahead Eagles in a game which, let's just say we definitely deserve to win. So you factor in a quadruple, you factor in these lovely stats as well. 3.8 goals a game, 0.2 conceded. Now, again, this channel is for more niche managers. And Peter Bosz is actually quite a big name, so I want to remind you, you can request anyone on this page, but I will test with that relevant team, and that's the whole video topic. Will this tactic work with an underdog team? I genuinely believe that it would, purely because it's a 4-3-3. 4-3-3s are typically quite versatile, and this tactic, with the tactical variations, will treat you quite well. But let's go and look at some highlights, because there's going to be plenty of goals. So I have picked out a game we won 7-0, just so you can see exactly how the goals actually come about and how well we do play. Now, I will say it's not against a top team, but it is going to give you an indicator of what you can expect. And sometimes I like to go down the path of selecting a game with pure goal outlet compared to, playing a top team, because you can actually see what the tactic does a lot of the time. Now, we know we can beat top teams. We've won a Champions League, so I don't need to validate that at all at the end of the day. And like I said, if you are using a mixture of these tactical variants, and if you've got any questions about Josh and playing as Wolves, what tactical variant, just leave a comment and I'll happily respond to you. I always do. It's actually quite nice now on YouTube, because there's a feature where you can reply with a voice note, which I like to do because it's a lot more personal and I can actually explain things a little bit better. As we are going to go and score another goal, and a lot of the play actually does come from the wide areas, I will say, even if it doesn't you know, that's not the end result necessarily. It starts off from the wide area. We do focus down both of the flanks, the left and the right-hand side. And yeah, it's actually quite interesting because you guys back home might even have a better team than PSV in terms of you could be managing Liverpool or City, or you could have got incredible wonder kids on the wings. So I think there's a lot more you can actually unlock from this tactic. You know, PSV have got a good team, but they've not got Mbappe and Vinicius, you know, so I do feel that, like, this tactic is incredible in the results we got, but I do think you guys can do even better, depending on the team that you're playing as. And I also, on the other side of the coin, think if you are playing as a smaller team, you definitely can get very good results. Now, are you going to win a quadruple with Wolves? Well, it's impossible. You're not going to be in 4 competitions. Are you going to win the treble? Most likely not, but I think you can have a good season. And I will be honest with that, you know, if we were playing like a free back, maybe you wouldn't have the best time with Wolves playing like this, but a 4-3-3 is super consistent, you know. This is a tactic that is actually a little quite detailed in terms of the player instructions and the way that it plays, but if you load this in with majority of teams, you're going to have the facilities to play in it, and that is why the tactical variants are important, and you will understand that if you do stick around and look at the entire video, and don't just obviously go after the first tactic, because we make the defensive tactic a lot more simpler. And speaking of simple, that was definitely a simple game. So then, time to break down the tactic. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. There is going to be a whole lot of tactics on this channel. And yeah, if you want to see more tactics, my main channel, Josh Daily, of course, is still posting tactics as well. Now, today we are going to have 3 tactical variants, as discussed. I used a mixture of all 3 throughout this PSV season, and I am not going to promise you'll get the same results if you just take one into the equation, because I never test with one tactical variant. Now, let's get in and break down 3 versions of this PSV tactic. So, number 1, clean slate. Number 2, positive mentality. First player role, goalkeeper. Nice and simple. Default goalkeeper in and out of possession. Ball playing centre back on the right hand side, default and tackle harder. On the left hand side, default and tackle harder. So not the most demanding out of the 2 centre backs in this system, and that is for good reason, because the fullbacks are actually quite, you know, they're quite invested. Stay wider, run wide, dribble more, make more runs, cross from the byline, nothing out of possession, but in possession, they're hyper aggressive. They're really, really getting forwards, and this is a key example of the variations. If you play this with Wolves, you'll get cooked. In the defensive version, this is a lot different. So make sure you do stick around for that right team that you're going to be using. But in this default version with PSV, we really can commit both of the fullbacks forward, and you know, they done a really good job, guys. I mean, they almost acted as like a second winger in some scenarios, so without this you're not going to get the same output either. And it's really nice to play with a team in a league where I can play this way, have my fullbacks really super committed to the cause. It does help out a lot, as we are going to introduce a DM to protect that back line on default, mark tight and also tackle harder. A CM on the right hand side, on roam, make more runs, standard and also default. An AM on the left hand side. Moving into the channels, roaming, standard, take more risks, make more runs, and default. So we've got the complete package here, really. We've got 1 dedicated to attacking, 1 balanced as a CM, and 1 DM, and that's a nice combo with that backline as well. Now again, at any part of this video you want to grab all of these perks. It includes every tactic I make on this channel and the Josh Daily channel. Every tactic comes with all 3 variants, a console and mobile version. There is currently 30% off, and you don't just get tactics, you get set pieces, training, rebuild files, wonder kid shortlists, ultimate save files, challenge save files, one-on-one tactical help, ad-free viewing, early access, priority in the request, access to giveaways, and there's probably more that I've forgotten. We have got endless stuff. Make sure you get yourself over to the Patreon, because there is endless stuff you can get your hands on, and yeah, there's more content than literally ever now, so definitely go over and enjoy it, as we are going to introduce a winger on the right-hand side, staying wide, cutting in, dribbling more, and making more runs. Out of possession, default. So a lot of this, you know, there's a lot of width being provided, but they're not going to collide the fullback and the winger, because the winger is going to cut inside. The inside winger on the left, this time, he is sitting narrow, so it's different on either side. So that is what I personally loved about this system. It's different on each side. It's not the same same repetitive. It's nice and different, and each side offers you something else. So if you copy these instructions here, out of possession, default as well. So sit narrow, cut in, dribble more, make more runs, shoot more often, with the CFD simply being on shoot more and more often on the press. Now, out of possession, same shape. Golden. Very good, very consistent. CFD to CFD. Inside winger and winger to 2 tracking wingers. AM and CM to 2 CMs. DM to DM. Fullback to fullback. Ball playing centre back to 2 centre backs. And goalkeeper to sweeper keeper. Team instructions. Let's get into it then. Shorter passing, a much higher tempo. Standard attacking width. Counter-attack, be more expressive. We then go with encourage dribbling, work ball into the box. So definitely, you know, we're allowing our players to be expressive individually and as a team, but they are going to be forced to work the ball into the box. Encourage both flanks and also pass to feet. And then we go with play through, short, and going to the centre backs. Out of possession, we are actually going to look to invite crosses and trap outside and no, and then high press, higher line, step up more, counter press, and also more often. And that will give you tactic number 1. Moving on to tactic number 2, a bit more of a, funny enough, an attacking version. So there are changes. If you obviously look at this one right here, there is no changes in terms of in possession instructions. Roles, sorry, not instructions. But there is out of possession. Before we discuss that, attacking mentality. So we are making quite a big change, and this was really only used to go more attacking in a game. So I went more attacking against Madrid when we done that comeback. I went more attacking to try and get the game into my favour. I'd done it, I scored 5 goals, and we won on penalties. Without that variant, I probably would not have even won the Champions League. In fact, I wouldn't have done. So the difference in terms of player roles individually out of possession is the addition of 2 PCMs, 2 pressing central midfield players. That is the real core difference. The wide players, the winger, for example, now going to be cutting inside and shooting more often. Obviously, the left-hand side, that was the case anyway. The fullbacks are going to remain exactly the same because they are so competitive anyway, as is the midfield because they are also very, very, very attacking. So really only one change in possession, a couple out of possessions, big change in the mentality, and the team instructions, we are going to have a couple of things. So standard passing now, a little bit more direct, much higher, counter-attack, be more expressive, encourage work ball into the box, encourage both flanks and pass to feet, and then play through short centre backs, but we're going to get it quickly. You know, we're going to get the ball moving a bit quicker. We're here to try and chase a game, get the ball moving quicker. Out of possession, invite crosses, trap outside and no, and then there was room to go up to the much higher, the high press, get stuck in, step up more, counter press, and more often. There was room to seriously boost this tactic up, and that is going to give you tactic number 2. Tactic number 3, the tactic you should be using for teams under the top 10, I would say, or if you want to switch to this mid-game and seal out a game, you can also do that. Now, why is this different? Does it actually mean anything? Yes and yes. So number 1, balanced mentality is significantly different from playing to positive. The team instructions we'll go over in a second, but basically this tactic is a lot more reserved. So the DM, the centre-backs, and the goalkeeper, this 4 here, they remain the same. The full-backs, default and default. Left-back, default and default. If you imagine in the first version, don't know what I was saying there. In the first version, there are so many instructions. So the person that just downloads the first one they see or copy the first one they see and go and plays with Wolves, I don't want to hear that it's not working, because at the end of the day, it's not designed for that team. That's why we put the effort into obviously making a defensive one for different levels of teams. So I try and make it as clear as possible. But if you've got any questions, of course, I'll happily help. The CM on the right-hand side, roam, make fewer runs, shorter passing, and default. On the left, move into the channels, roam, shorter, and then simply default. The 2 wide players, the inside wingers, they are simply going to be very similar, but no shoot more often on the left-hand side. Sit narrow, shorter, cut inside, dribble more, make more runs, and default. On the right, we are going to have a default player out of possession, in possession, shorter, wider, cut in, dribble more, make more runs. So they are doing the same role, the same things, but they're not having as many individual shots, with the CFD also having that shoot more taken off on roam, shorter, and still pressing more. So a lot of short passing play. This is a completely different style of tactic to the first system. And it's designed to be friendly for lower standard teams. Less demand, less stuff going on. And that actually does go into the out of possession. Very, very basic, as you can see. And the team instructions will back that up. Standard line, a lot more calmer. Step up more, high press, counter press, and more often. Trap outside and no. Trap outside and invite crosses. This is a lot more defensively solid than the attacking version or the default version. In possession, very different. Shorter, standard tempo. Again, a complete opposite way of going into your games on the counter-attack. Balanced, work ball into the box, balanced and balanced, both flanks and pass to feet, and then play through short to the centre backs, and that will give you a much more lower standard team friendly Peter Bosz-inspired PSV. This is to switch to mid-game to chase more goals, or go into a second cup game to chase more goals. And this one is the one that you should go into every game with if you're playing as a sort of top 10 team. And that is going to be PSV Peter Bosz's tactics broken down. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, whack the sub bell on, and I'll catch you in the next one.